So we are going to switch from the very theoretical processes and all of the knowledge that we've talked about to some reality. We're going to actually try to prepare a tax return here. All right. And we are going to prepare my favorite person, Lisa. All right. Lisa, she's a made up person, but Lisa is an F1 student from China. She's single. Her birthday was on January 1st of 2000. She came here on August 8th of 2020. She went home back to China last summer. So like not the 2022 summer, but the 2021 summer. She lived off campus for all of the year. She worked on campus. She filed a tax return with us last year. She had $750 withheld from her paychecks during 2021. She got a $205 refund. So she was really happy about that. But she had $350 withheld in state tax, and she had to pay some extra Minnesota tax, which I am sorry to say is somewhat common. So this is a very typical type of a situation. She is studying accounting here. Tracy is her contact. And next, she needs to get organized. She needs to find her income documents, right? If this is our process, she's going to gather her income documents. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to payroll services. He had perfect timing. Blaine, come to the front.
But anyway, my name is Albert. We sent here working in payroll services, and we issue your 1042s and your W2s. So I'm just gonna follow him because I know he did that on purpose, so I can come here and talk to you guys. So if you are to receive, if you have any 1042s to receive from last year's income, it will be the deadline for us to mail to you is March 15th. If you do not receive your form by March 24th, you can request a duplicate copy. And here's the contact here with HR Contact Center. 1042s are sent out to scholarship and fellowship payments, employment income under the tax treaty. So if you have a tax treaty, for instance, China, if you have a scholarship and fellowship, then you'd have a 1042S. And you can see the address here, ohr@umn.edu, right?
Is it a general question that'll apply to many people? No.
1042 is the tax form that's issued to you if you have a scholarship and fellowship.
Yeah. So the income documents, you will never fill those out. Whoever gave you the money is going to give that to you.
Yeah, gonna give that to you. And the W2s is the form that in there you go. Now we.
All right, how about we do?
I don't get complicated here, and
yes.
I hate being complicated.
Just reports wages, right? If you work at school.
If you report your wages, not from fellowship and scholarship, but from your job. So let's say you have an, see, you did that on purpose. So if you had a job, for instance, just generally speaking, if you had a job at the dining services, you will get a W-2, okay? So that'll be reported the income for that for the year. Or if you have a job at IT or, I don't know, working for a professor, for instance, if you're assistant. So those are considered for income tax, and they're reported on a W-2, okay? The W-2 have been sent out already. So we have the IRS, our very good friends. They give us a deadline that we have to issue and mail to you by January 31st. Now, if you have not received that, you can go to the MyU and request and see a W-2. But you can also call the contact the ohr@umn.edu, or call the phone number 612-624-8647 and ask them to guide you through to get your W-2. Now, remember too, if your address, your home address is in your country, if you have a home address on MyU as your country, yeah, it's not gonna go there, okay? So that you have to have an address in the United States. We do not mail documents checks or W-2s or 1042s to outside of the US.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I thought she did actually mail them.
Nope,
Oh, good to know. All right.
we do not. So please make sure that you review your address, your home address, and your mailing address on MyU. Make sure that's a United States address. Okay? And we'll be here at the end for questions if you have any. But again, you can also contact the ohr@umn.edu if you have any questions. All right? Thank you. See, I'm his beautiful assistant, so I'm sorry.
All right, perfect. Yes, so what happened here, right? So Lisa knew that she had a tax treaty, right? So she went into payroll at the beginning of the year and she told them, yes, I've got a tax treaty. I'm from China, I'm a student. She signed some documents. And so because of that, she gets a 1042S, and this is her 1042S. It says that she has income code 20, which means wages while working as a student. She had $5,000 that she does not have to pay any tax on. So congratulations, Lisa. She's got a great treaty there. All right. If Lisa had not done that, right? If Lisa had not gone into payroll, she would not get a 1042S for wages, right? They would have just said, oh, it's just all wages, taxable income, right? Payroll doesn't know where you're from. They don't know if you're eligible for a treaty unless you go in and sign some documents for them. The good news is, right, for Lisa, it doesn't matter whether she signed those documents with payroll or not. Her ability to claim a tax treaty is based on her country of tax residency and her federal tax residency status. So she can still claim her treaty even if she doesn't get a 1042S. She just has to do a few different things in her tax return. But Lisa was prepared. She did it last year. She knew all about it. She gets a 1042S. She also gets a W-2, right? So she had 5,000 on a 1042S and she had 8,400 that's reported on a W-2. So her total actual income was 13,400, right? Her first 5,000 she paid no taxes on, and then everything else above that, that's all taxable income. It gets reported on her W-2. And this is what her W-2 would look like, or approximately like. You'll notice that the U of M did a good job here, right? She's got no Social Security and Medicare taxes that were taken out, but she does have Minnesota tax as well because she was here working in Minnesota. All right. So we're going to confirm now that her return is in scope. So all of our guides, all over our website, we have a SPIG list that says, hey, this is the stuff we do. This is the stuff we don't do. I look through that list and I say, okay, nope, she doesn't have more than 73. She's in Minnesota. No treaty benefits for other stuff, no capital gains, nothing. She's all good. She is in scope. If she wasn't in scope, we could send her to the IRS. We could give her like some guides or forms or instructions. But that's kind of the help that we can provide. So the next step, she is going to prepare her personalized guide, all right? So I'm gonna give you guys a demonstration of that today. It is not quite live yet on our website, right? We're still doing a last little bit of beta testing to make sure that it's right. But in the next few days, it should be out there. And this is what it will look like. So this is her personalized guide. Basically asks a little series of questions to help you get the instructions that you need to do your tax return, right? It's like halfway between like doing it all on your own and TurboTax, right? It doesn't put it into the forms for you, but it kind of gives you the instructions that you need. So let's give a start. Are you a citizen? Permanent resident? No. What country are you a citizen of? We're going to say China because that's where she is from. What country were you a tax resident of? She's also a resident of China. Okay, we're going to enter her dates of her visit. This is going to confirm her federal tax residency. Also going to give us the information that we need to prepare her tax return. 24, 2021, we add another visit. So this is the same as the regular tool out on the website. It's just integrated into the guide. All right, and because she's here ever since, when she came back in August, we don't need to there. Check the status, you're a non-resident alien. Yay, off we go. Were you married? No, she was not married. Does she have children? Nope, no children. All right, what types of income did she have? Well, she had a W-2, and she had a 1042S with an income code of 20 for wages. So that was what she had. There's lots of different options. If you had those, then you would click that box. If you didn't, don't click that box. And remember, all of these documents, right? They're not going to be something that you prepare. These are going to be documents that are sent to you. The only exception is scholarships or fellowships that's not reported on an income document. In that case, there's going to be no income document at all, not that somebody's going to send one to you. All right, this is usually things like grad students would be in that situation. All right, now we're going to do a check for her treaty benefits to see if her income documents match her treaty benefits. So if she had a W-2 for 8,400, income code 20, 5,000, off we go. All right. Did she give money to charities? No, she did not give any money to us. Did she make payments on a student loan? Did she file an income tax? Yes, she did. She was really mad because she had to pay extra money. Okay, she did not get a state refund. She owed additional tax. Okay, here we go. Where did you live? She lived in Minnesota. She had money here. Didn't live anywhere else. All right, did you get her certificate of rent paid? Yes, she did. She did not pay any property taxes. She did not get the frontline worker payment. So I don't know how many international students will do this or not, but if you remember, right, there was the whole Minnesota frontline worker pay, $487.45. If you were a qualified frontline worker during the COVID pandemic, you had to apply for that payment. You would have gotten that payment last year. There will not be any kind of an income document for it. You will have to know that you applied for it. On our guides, we have a little site that, or like a link to the website where you can go check your application to find out if you did apply, did you actually get that money? But for Lisa, she did not. All right, all done. Creating the guide. There we go. We have a guide. And now we can go here and it will take you to prepare your tax return. Here's the software. And if we go back to here, I'm going to go to here. I'm going to try to get out of this here. Where is my F11? Oh. All right. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. All right. Okay. So here is a guide. So basically it would walk you through. Reminder, right? TaxSlayer is not smart, unfortunately. So you can put information in there that will give you a wrong return. So it's your responsibility to make sure that the return is correct. This is why we say, even though it's not required, we would love to see you at a tax clinic so that we can do a review of your return and make sure it's right before you send it in. All right, talk through this, talks about how to go get into the software, which we're gonna do. We're gonna go right here. We're gonna go into the return. All right, we're gonna log in. I think I'm gonna need 2 seconds, so ignore what I'm doing here. I forgot to reset it. All right, if you make a mistake, you just say, oh, I made a mistake. Let's start over again, sorry. Whoops, it happens. All right. Starting again. Okay. And, all right, let's get started. Okay, so the way that the guide is set up is you can basically do screenshot by screenshot what you should do. Remind me later. All right, let's put your name in. Here's the information about putting your name. 1/1/2000. She is a student. All right. And so we would do this. So it basically goes through side by side. What do you want to do? So here, we're not going to say we're going to contribute. The Federal Election Commission forbids foreign nationals from contributing or participating in elections. So we say, recommend generally that you don't contribute on your tax returns, just out of an abundance of caution. If you had crypto, you'd want to say it here. If you want to get your communications in a different language, you can click on here and choose which language you want. The only thing we would click here is here. She is over 18. She's a full-time student at an eligible education institution. All right, we're going to say non-resident alien. Don't hit single there. Say non-resident alien. Say single. All right, you clicked wrong one. There you go. We're going to say single. Does she have any dependents? No. We're going to say no. Doesn't have an identity protection pin. Continue. Let's do it. And so I'm going to take the slide down here on the guide, but that is basically what it is. So it's a screenshot by screenshot process to show you where everything is. I'm going to make that small right now just so you can see a little bit better. All right, we are going to go here. We're going to go to basic information. Oh, I went to the wrong spot. All right, basic information. We would enter some information here for her personal information. This is her name. That's all good. We're going to go to, where is her? Why is it not doing it? Where is her filing status?
It's right there beneath person information.
Okay, there we go. That's what I needed. Schedule OI. Thank you, sir. All right, so we're going to say that she's an individual. Her country of citizenship is China. Nope, that was Cuba. China. Country of tax residency is China. Travel information, other. She is a non-immigrant visa. She's an F1 visa holder. She's never applied for a green card, never done anything like that. All right, she was here for 365 days. I'm going to make up the numbers because the guide would have them. I'm not going to worry about them. 187. All right, did you file a tax return last year? Yes, she did. 2021, 1040 NR. None of this stuff applies. No trust, nothing like that. Her first day that she was here in the US for the year was January 1st. So even though she didn't really enter, it was the first day that she was here in the US during the year. We're going to do that. All right. Now we would go fill out her form 8843. This basically says, hello, I'm here. I am a student. The date that she first entered the US on her student visa was 8/8/2020. She's never changed. She's here on an F1. Passport number, the very imaginative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then again, the dates, which would come from the guide. It shows the treaty or her non-resident alien status results. Student information, that basically says, where were you a student? So if the IRS did want to try to confirm that you were a student, where would they be able to call? 726-7100. You know, ISSS works really well. This is not the right number. But the University of Minnesota's ISSS office works. Also, you can put your director of your individual program if you want to put them, but think of it as somebody that they could call to confirm that you were a student here at the University of Minnesota. All right, were you present for more than 5 years? Nope. Did you take any steps to become a permanent resident? So no. And so, by the way, entering the green card lottery is a no to this question. If you win the green card lottery and you apply, that is a yes to this question. All right, so she was here in 2020. She had an F1 visa. She did not change. She was also here in 2021. She was an F1 visa. All right, that takes care of that. Now we're going to enter her income documents. So she had a W-2 and a 1042-X. So on the W-2, we're going to basically enter all of the information just like it's written. So university number, all the names, all of that information. All right, and she had 8,400, 840. State information was Minnesota. 8,400. I think that's the right number. All right, there we go. If she had more than one, she could add more than one. That's all there is to it for that. She has a 1042S, which is down here under miscellaneous forms. Oh, no, it's under payments, pardon me. So again, I don't expect anybody to remember all of this stuff, right? This is the point of having the guide. Trying to do all of these steps on your own. I've done hundreds of returns in here, so I can jump through it really quickly. We don't expect anybody that's doing it for the first time to know how to do this. That's why we have the guide. That's why we have all of that information available to you. All right, chapter 3, it would be a 0. I know this stuff because I know how it works. So her income code is treaty exempt. And it's not amended, nothing like that. Income code was 20, right? She's got that amount is 5,000. Basically all of the other stuff, we would enter it from her return. I know we have to put that one in there. Whatever is on the form. So whatever the folks at payroll put on that 1042S, that's what you're going to put into here. Let's say continue there. All right, now the last thing we need to do is we need to do, not the last thing, but almost, we need to report her treaty benefit, right? So she gets a treaty. She's awesome. She got lucky from where she's from. So her treaty code, and I know it because I can look it up in our book, but it would be on your guide because we put it in there. Treaty Article 12 or 20C, she was claimed it last year, $5,000. All right. Okay, and that is Lisa's federal tax return. So we did her W-2, we did her 1042S, we did her 8843. We put the information about her visits here in the United States and about her treaty benefit. If you don't put that information in on that treaty benefit, then the IRS will say, no, you didn't claim a treaty. We will take the money. Thank you. We would love that. And then you can come see Libby because then you have a tax controversy. All right, we're going to go back to state. So I love the state now because the state is super simple. We say, oh, where were we from? We were in Minnesota. Let's do that. We are going to say resident for Lisa because she lived in an abode all year. So that makes her a resident. In addition, she didn't work any other state. She was only here in Minnesota. So we're going to say Minnesota unless she was working somewhere else. So we need to make some adjustments. We're going to say, no, let's not do the political contribution just in case. Do we have any adjustments that we need to make? No, we don't need to make any adjustments. We are done. And with that, we are done with Lisa's return. So I know that I did that a lot faster than everybody else in this room probably will do, except for maybe some of my volunteers here. But that is the general process, right? And so we have the guide that's literally going to walk you through step by step. This is what you need to do to report the type of income you have, to report any treaty benefits that you have, to report any supporting forms like that form 8843, to do your state tax return. Then you can do the return right here. It will generate, hopefully generate, there we go. There we are. All right, and then here is her tax return. Here is her 1040 NR. Let's see if Lisa's happy with us again this year. Okay, here's her wages, her 8,400, her treaty exempt income, her state tax. She doesn't have to, she takes that as a subtraction, so she doesn't have to pay tax on that to the federal government. Gets a little refund, not so great. She says, well, you know what, I can go out to dinner with that. That's not so good. All right. Okay, here's all of her information. Here's her China treaty benefit. Here's her form 8843 that just says, hey, I'm a student. Here's where I'm a student. Let's go see her Minnesota return. Did it go out better or worse for her this year? 800, 452. Oh, she owes $3. Okay, so she's not exactly happy, but it's not the end of the world, right? She can afford $3. She's not going to have to go see Libby for that one. All right. And then, so this is the point, right, where we would say, hey, you're ready to file. Let's come take a look at it. If you would like, come visit us. I just didn't kill myself. I did, didn't I? All right. If we were going to file, I am not going to actually file. But if we were going to file, we would kind of continue on through this process right here. Are you ready to file? Yes, I'm ready to file. Continue. I'm not going to actually do that, right? But that would be the process that you go through to do that. Once you click that e-file, I've submitted my tax return, right? That is kind of the moment when it becomes the wall between us and maybe the folks over at the LITC, right? Because we cannot help you with an amended return. So if you make a mistake and it needs to be fixed, you have to formally tell the IRS that via an amended return, and that is out of scope for us. We can't help you with that. So please, we would love to see you. A tax clinic or a tax office hours appointment is really good for that. It's only 15 minutes, but if you're done, we can look at your income documents, we can look at the form really quick, and we can say, yeah, you're good to go. I know that they're not for a little while, but it's a good option for you, okay? All right, and with that, I am going to exit out of here, leave, I'm gonna log out, leave, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, we're gonna say goodbye to all of those things, and we're gonna go back to here, and we're gonna say, all right, we did the guide, we did the return, we did the software, we prepared. All right, let's talk about property tax refund. So I didn't go into that there for a minute for Lisa, and there's a reason why. Right, so to be eligible, we talked about this, right? So you must have been present in Minnesota for at least 183 days. Lisa definitely met that. You must have rented, owned, occupied, or maintained an abode that was subject to property tax. Lisa met that requirement as well. However, Lisa did not meet the requirement to not be a dependent, right? So her total income, right? We added the $5,000 of treaty exempt plus her $8,400 of wages. Her total income was $13,400, right? So Lisa spent something like $42,000 to go to school here this past calendar year. So she is way under the amount that she needs to provide over half of her own support. All right. If she goes and gets a fabulous internship this summer, will she qualify next year? Yeah, definitely, maybe, right? Maybe she becomes a grad student, right? And then the grad students, they get all kinds of scholarships and fellowships, and the tuition is less. Maybe she'll qualify then. All right. It just depends on her situation. But for this year, at least, she does not qualify for it. And unfortunately, this is relatively common for people, particularly before they start working a different job outside the U of M. All right, file the return. We have the instructions. I'm not going to go through them. Lisa's return is hopefully done and filed. She can go off and say, I'll see you next year. We say, thanks, Lisa. We appreciate it. All right, so if Lisa did want some help, right? So on our website, if you go into the member site, you got a banner across the top. It's got all of our links that make an appointment. This is what it looks like here, right? These are all of our tax clinics. As a reminder, you need to use the same member information for your appointment, right? You will get a little email from me saying, your information doesn't match. I'm sorry, we canceled you. Please sign up again. And if you keep doing it, we'll get grumpy about it. So please just use your member information. This is what it looks like right now, right? Lots of space. That's not going to last. So please, even if if you think you're going to get a 1042S, right? Don't wait to book your appointment. Book your appointment now for after March 15th. The U of M says they have to mail them by the 15th. Usually they go out something like the 5th or the 7th. So people are getting them right around the 15th. So I think we've got one like on the 17th or something like that. Possibly you'd have it by then, maybe, maybe not. Maybe make it for the week after. But if you're going to get one, a 1042S, make it for later. If you're not going to get a 1042S, right, make your appointment for now. Usually the first couple of clinics are a little bit less busy. So if you're feeling confused and you want some extra volunteer time, the first couple of clinics are a really good way to get some extra time. If you wait until the very end, it's going to be very busy. So we would always encourage you to not do that, especially because if you find out that you're missing something and we're doing it on the last day, there's not enough time to get things fixed before the end of the filing season.